Technology, responsible for organizing the meeting and the other requirements for the meeting. So the term is known as Sergeant at Arms in Toastmasters Club. Before we move on with the meeting, I request all of you to please put your phones on silent mode. Please do it within the next 10 seconds. Thank you. In order to not hurt anyone's sentiment when you are called on stage, please refrain from talking about sex, religion, and politics. Please enter and exit the room only when a person on stage completes their speech and you hear applause going on. Thank you. So coming back to today's theme of the meeting's theme, so which emphasizes on hard work, how it can shape us. So this, I remember an instance throughout my childhood, my mom used to emphasize on the hard work. So, but at that time, I used to think about playing sports and doing other activities with my friends. So today, I realized that even I had listened to her and put in a little more extra effort, so I would have been in a better place. But realizing that, so right now, whatever I do is I give my 100% in each and every task that comes my way. So talking about this hard work, we need not to look for anywhere, because in our Toastmasters Club we find several people who constantly put their best effort, and we could see the changes in them throughout the time. So there is particular one person who dons many hats. In profession, he is a tax consultant. He founded his own organization, and where he teaches about the tax and finances for the students as well as the professionals. So ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the presiding officer for today, Toastmaster Shashank.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and most welcome guests.
Good evening.
Welcome to the legendary Bangalore Toastmasters Club. I call to order meeting number 1375. The minutes of the previous meeting 1374 was sent to all the members by WhatsApp and by mail by our club secretary Toastmaster Vishwanath. Any amendments to the same? So I pass the minutes of meeting 1374. Any first time guests who have joined us today? Can you please see a show of hands?
Second time.
Good. Can you please introduce yourself to all of us?
Good evening everyone. I am Sunaina. I am currently a third year student at Bangalore Institute of Technology, and it's happy to be.
Great.
I'm Devraj. I'm working here at HR.
Oh, good. Welcome.
Hi everyone, I'm Himani and I work as an HR for Pepsi.
I'm Vimal. I have come a couple of times 5 years back. So my when I wanted to rejoin it, so this time I thought that I'd join it.
Sure. Welcome.
Hey everyone, I am Achyuta and recently I am relocated to Bangalore. Just I am enrolled in a course pedagogy.
Okay, so members, how do we welcome our guests to the club? Bangalore Toastmasters Club comes under Area 3 of Division B, and we have the area director with us, Toastmaster Prashant. Can we have a round of applause for us? All of you know about Thomas Alva Edison, right? Anyone who doesn't know? We all know about him. What we may not know about him is that letter which changed his life. When he was young, a young kid, he came back from school. He gave a letter to his mother. and told his mother that my teacher gave this to me and she asked me to give this letter only to you. So the mother opened the letter and she started crying. She had uncontrollable tears. Thomas asked, "What's there in the letter?" The mother then read out the content from the letter. Has anyone read that letter earlier? Has anyone seen that letter? Okay, I'll not ask you then. So the mother read the letter. She read, "Your kid is a genius. Our school is too small for him. Our teachers are not capable of teaching him. Please teach him on your own." End of letter. The mother then took it up as a challenge. She designed her own curriculum. She prepared a plan, and Thomas never missed the school. He learned from his mother. Till the mother passed away, she taught him everything from scratch. And how was Thomas Alva Edison later when he grew up? People called him a genius, as the letter mentioned. As per various reports, to invent the light bulb, he conducted more than 10,000 experiments. He wrote notes of more than 5 million pages till he eventually passed away. How did this happen? Towards the end, probably many years later, when he was going through his old stuff, he came across that letter, a folded paper. When he opened the letter, Thomas started crying. He had tears in his eyes. Now this time he was uncontrollable. That letter told, "Your child is adult. Good for nothing, he is mentally retarded. We can't teach him at our school. He is not fit to belong to this school. You please do something to him, take care of him. We will not allow him to the school from tomorrow." Then Thomas Alva Edison realized that his mother lied to him, that he was a genius and the school was too small for him, but in fact the letter had something which was completely different. So Thomas Alva Edison later told, Thomas Alva Edison, an adult student, is a genius because of his mother. He then also wrote in his notes later that this letter changed my life. After I got to know what happened, after I got to know what my mother told and what eventually was the case, I had something to live for, someone to live for. So ladies and gentlemen, we may come across so many people in our lives. We may come across so many inspiration people in our lives. Is it enough for us to say, "Oh, he is so good, I want to be like him"? That is just 1%. We have to have inspiration in our life. But how do we work towards achieving or being that person or emulating that person? Through perspiration, through perseverance and through hard work. All of us should have some or many inspirations in our lives. But if there is no hard work and no perseverance, it is all just a waste. Even at Toastmasters Club, we have so many established, reputed, innovative, creative people around us. What should we do? Just look at them and just feel for once, saying, "Wow, I should be like him once." And should we end it there? No. How do we reach there? How do we reach to that mark or that stage where he has reached? Work towards. So 99% perspiration and perseverance, that 1% is that inspiration which is missing in your life. Get inspired, but also follow on those footsteps. Having said that, to take this meeting forward, we have the Master of Ceremonies or the Toastmaster of the Day, as we call it at Toastmasters. Again, many people told him that you can't do much in life. You can't finish your studies, or you can't do this, you can't do that. But eventually, he finished his engineering, he also finished his MBA, and he is a reputed sales consultant at a reputed establishment in India. A Toastmaster since many years and a member of various clubs, he is also a source of inspiration to others from what I have seen. Please put your hands together to welcome the Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Sheep Kumar.
Hello. I want to ask forgiveness to Almighty two times. One for my introducer for spreading lies, and second for myself for enjoying those lies so much. Thank you, Shashank, for this wonderful introduction. I'd like to invite your attention to 1998, when the formidable Australian test team visited India. You know, the pedigree of the Australian test team, full of stars. But the fight was between two champions. One, a bowler in the Australian team, and second, a batsman in the Indian team. Sachin Ramesh Tendulkar and Shane Warne. And the media heralded it as a biggest war, one of the wars, and everyone was looking forward to it. And what Sachin did was quite interesting. Sachin approached Ravi Shastri, who in his previous outing at Australia played against Shane Warne and scored a double century. So Sachin asked his advice how to play Shane Warne, the little spinner, the magician, who's already taken almost 300 wickets. So Ravi Shastri said, my method was, I'm a taller guy, so I can actually put a strike and I can defend. Because I just go to the pitch of the ball and smother this spin, so I can play that. But you are short. He didn't say that, Sachin. So he said, you can't do that. You have to find a method to attack him. So that is advice. So what Sachin did is, Sachin went to Chennai, the MRF Pace Foundation. There you have different pitches, the fast pitch, the spinner pitch, all these pitches are there. And he advised, or he sought help of Lakshman Shivaramakrishna, one of the prominent spinners, leg spinners in that era. So, and Sachin created marks on the area where Shane was supposed to bowl, and he practiced for 4 continuous days. And what happened in the match, the first test match happened in Chennai. And the first innings, Sachin was at 4. He tried a cover drive and he was caught at backward point by Mark Taylor. 4. Everyone said no, Sachin cannot play Shane Warne. He is going to a failure in the series. But the next innings, Sachin exactly whatever he has practiced, he made into perfection in the spot, in the pitch. And he scored 155 runs in that second innings. And that match was quite crucial because for the first 3.5 days, the match was going topsy-turvy. Anybody can win the match. And that defining innings helped India to win the test, and later on India went on winning the series. So it shows that not only planning, Sachin, we all of us know that a genius, but despite of that, he went and applied himself, go through the grinding, and he find a way to smother the screen of Shane Warne. Second, every one of you must have seen the movie 3 Idiots. Everyone, right? In that there is a classroom scheme where the professor asks Ranjo, Amir Khan, about definition of a machine. And there is a conversation between the professor and Amir Khan, and finally the professor asks Amir Khan to go out of the classroom. And he comes back and the professor asks, what are you, I forgot something, what? Then he typically answers, a definition of book. In that particular shot, the cinematographer, C.K. Muralidharan, one of his interviews says that he had taken about 99 shots. Can you believe that? Sometimes Rajkumar Hiranandan, he was happy. Sometimes Amir Khan was not happy. So the kind of genius we saw on the screen is that brilliance. But the kind of hard work, the perspiration that go behind the scene, we don't come across. It is, the classic example is the Chinese bamboo. All of us know the story of Chinese bamboo, but for the sake of it, I'm just reiterating the value of that message. Because for the first 4-5 years, The Chinese bamboo is growing in the darkness. Like many of the people, many of the performers, they all grow in the darkness. And one fine day you see the genius on the stage and you say, oh, wow, wow, wow. And you don't understand what they've gone through. The Chinese bamboo, for the first 4-5 years, they try to grow roots under the soil. And what happens is, it grows into 94 feet in the next 2 months. Astonishing. I want to say one more thing, like genius, which we call like Shakespeare, Picasso, Beethoven, Muhammad Rafi, Sachin Tendulkar. You know how many plays Shakespeare have written? 37 plays. And how many of them you know? Maybe 10 plays, which are very popular. How many paintings Picasso painted? 13,500. He lived up to 90 years, and every day he was either doing some painting or some work. 2 works every day till he was done. And how many of the paintings we know? Beethoven has done 722 compositions. Muhammad Rafi has sung 25,000 more songs and recorded. So it does mean that whatever you do, you may be a genius, but you have to go to the grinding. Everything you do, every time you come here, you may not give a perfect speech. Even if you are the best speaker, you come and you might give a mediocre performance. It's okay. But once in a while, you have a spectacular moment. That is your moment. That is the 7 minutes you take with you. That is the one which can actually propel you forward. So with that note, for the benefit of guests, a typical Toastmaster meeting has got 3 segments. The first segment is called the prepared speech segment, In my opinion, that is the lifeline of any Toastmaster meeting. Those speeches. In that segment, members come here, prepare a speech based on certain guidelines, and they come and perform. And that being evaluated by experienced seasonal Toastmasters in the 3rd session. And the middle session is called table topic session. In this session, we give opportunity to almost everyone present here to come here and have a feel of the stage. So you can speak about one topic which is given to you at that point of time for 1 to 2 minutes. So that is the structure of the Toastmaster meeting. And this Toastmaster movement has been started in 1924 in California by a gentleman called Ralph C. Speckley. And next year we are going to celebrate the 100th year of the birth anniversary of Toastmasters. For some of the Toastmasters, I have a trivia here before I get into the next segment. All of us know the father of, or the person who started Toastmasters, Ralph C. Speckley. What is C stands for? Ralph C. Speckley, what is C stands for? Move closer. Good try. It is chestnut. Ralph Chestnut. So to take the meeting or to help me in taking the meeting forward, we have a general evaluator here who will come here and evaluate the meeting from the beginning to the end of the meeting. And today's general evaluator is Toastmaster Alok Sinha. There is a 3-member tag team. I call them my Anmol Ratan, the timer, the R-counter, and the grammarian. Today's timer is a voracious leader, a risk analyst, and a growth strategist. He is an electrical, electronics, and communication engineer, and right now doing his strategic management course in IIM Lucknow. Please help me welcome Toastmaster Aditya Srivastava.
Good evening, dear Toastmasters and guests. Good evening. My name is Toastmaster Aditya and I'm going to be your timer for the day. I want to start my timer session with a line by Plato. It's a very famous line called, "Work has a tendency to amass the time that you provide to it." I'll repeat, work has a tendency to amass the time that you provide to it. And your timing notations would be like this. For prepared speeches, I'll show a green card at 5, I'll show a yellow card at 6, and I'll show a red card at 7 minutes of completion. There would be a bell ring at 7 minutes 30, that at that time the speaker will be requested to step off stage. Something similar will be done for table topics, where the green card goes up at 1 minute, the yellow goes at 1 minute 30, and the red goes at 2 minutes. The bell rings at 2:30, and at that time the speaker will be asked to step off stage. I'll be presenting my report to the general evaluator at the end of the meeting.
Thank you, Toastmaster Aditya. The next is our founder. Our founder is our current Vice President Treasurer, a beautiful lady. Please help me welcome Toastmaster Sharma.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
As our counter, my responsibility is to listen carefully to the crutch words in case at the time of your speech, if anyone is using like so I have to keep listening very patiently so that I can make a note of all those crutch words, and at the end of the meeting, I would be sharing that report with you all. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sharma. The next role is that of a grammarian. We have a person here as a champion speaker. She recently took the club status into the division level, and I had the privilege of watching her in the club level, area level, and the division level. It's a privilege to call you Toastmaster Varsha, the grammarian.
Thank you, Sheep. Good evening, Toastmasters.
Good evening.
While Toastmaster Sheep restricted the beauty status only to Sharma, I'd like to tell you all that I'd be playing the role of a beautician today. While a normal beautician enhances a person's beauty, I, as a grammarian, would be enhancing the beauty of your language. Let me tell you how. Beauticians normally are into weight management, and here, as a grammarian, I would be into error management. While beauticians work on facelift, I, as a grammarian, will be working on vocabulary lift. With that, introducing the word of the day for today, proficient. Competent or skilled in doing or using something, like the grammarian of today. With that, I will also be adding makeup with the good usages. Over to you, Sheep.
Thank you, Toastmaster beautiful Varsha. You struck a chord. We'll move to the first session of this meeting, that is.
Over exceeded the time.
Okay. We move to the first segment of the session, that is the prepared speeches. Before I call upon the first speaker, let me request the evaluator Toastmaster Shaukat Lokhandwala to recite the speech objectives.
Thank you, Toastmaster today. Our speaker today will be presenting from the Dynamic Leadership Manual. It's Level 2 project, and the purpose of this project is for the member to learn about different communication styles and identify his primary style. The purpose of the speech is also for the member to share the impact of his style on others. All the best to you, your speaker. Time, please note, 5 to 7 minutes. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, DTM Shaukat Lokhandwala. The next speaker is attempting L2P2 from the Dynamic Leadership Pathways. This person is a QA architect and a quality advocate. He works as a senior manager at Sitecore. If any of you want to get help on hacking, he's a certified ethical hacker. So Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the next speaker on stage, Toastmaster Vijay Kalkundri. The speech title is Understand Your Communication Style. Toastmaster Vijay Kalkundri.
Communication is 20% of what you speak and 80% of what people think of what you speak. Any successful communication can help you build empires, help you strike deals with the organization, or help people find their love. As against, any unsuccessful communication will lead to workplace conflicts, will lead to people getting into altercations, or will lead to the collapse of the relationships. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and my dear friends, communication style is one important vital thing that helps the communication to be effective and successful. We all have different styles of communication. Some people are very instant. As soon as they hear something, they respond. When there are others who understand the information, perceive it, calculate it, and then are going to respond. There is no right or wrong way of which particular communication style is perfect. The other day I was explaining how to reach Bangalore Toastmasters Club to my group of my friends who wanted to come to this meeting. I was telling them, as soon as you cross the Trinity Circle, cross two other signals, and before you hit the Anil Kunde Circle, take the first left and you will enter the church street, and then go to cross the Shobha Mall on your right and Church Street Social on your left, and hit the dead end, take a right and go along the boundary of the State Bank of India regional office, and then you will hit the Bangalore Toastmaster Club where you find the MTR. Believe me, as I was explaining this, some of my friends could get this and some of the friends were lost. So here, my communication could not cut through. And I'm sure many of you would have experienced this when you are talking to some of your friends or relatives. It cuts through to some of them and some of them do not understand this. In 1928, William Moulton actually devised, who is an author of a book, Emotions of Normal People, came up with 4 different styles of a communication skills. What were those? First was dominance, second was influence, third was steadiness, and fourth was compliance. And these communication styles have evolved over a period of time. In 1960, the industrial psychologist Roger Reed mentioned that this has evolved, and he came up with 4 different behavioral styles. They were amiable, analytical, directive, and calculative. So these things have evolved over a period of time. And our Toastmasters manual pathways suggest there are 4 different, they are amalgamation of all of these 4 different styles, and they are direct, initiative, supportive, and analytical. So other day, on the 29th of April, last Sunday, I was sitting in my home and watching IPL match. That's when my neighbor Prashant called me and told, why don't you join us for a walk? As we were walking in the park, 2 of my other friends in the same society joined us, Yogesh and Prashant. Yogesh and Sandeep. So as we were taking a stroll, we were discussing so many things, right from astronomy to politics, to business, to fitness. So the topics were going all across the world. That's when Prashant cut the discussion short and told us, tomorrow being a holiday, why don't we go for a trek? It's a very pleasant evening, and I think tomorrow morning also is going to be pleasant. And moreover, I have missed the previous trek which all of you guys went. Yogesh was little calculated. He was thinking, tomorrow I have promised to take my wife to the shopping. I have promised my children to take to the park, and I have also promised to take my wife to the temple, my mother to temple, and I have also accepted to attend a short meeting with my teammates, though it was a holiday. So will I be able to attend? As his thoughts were going on in his face, in his mind, he told it may be difficult because there are a lot of things I already committed. And Shekhar, who was next to us, he told that I have committed to come back by 11:30 to my wife, and I have to be on that time. I cannot skip that. That's when I realized that the idea was good. We could achieve this. I did some planning there and told that we should do something so that this trek goes through and all of the people's objectives are also met. That's when I told Yogesh that, okay, we can do one thing. My family is going in the same direction as that your wife wants to go for shopping. I will tag along them and they should be able to accomplish this. And for the temple plus children play area time, I will tag along with one of my other driver who is going in the same direction to that area. So he will be able to take them along to that place and get them back. And as far as office meeting is concerned, why don't you push that by a couple of hours and they can still have it because it's a holiday. And for Sandeep Shekhar, who wanted to have it a short trek, he wanted an easy one. I came up with a plan where we could go for an area which was not much far, which was just 57 kilometers, which was Makali for Durga trek. And believe me friends, we decided at 9:30 in the night, and in the morning 4:30 we started for the trek and we were back to our homes by 11:30 in that short span of whatever decision we made. All the members of the trek objectives were met and we completed an easy to moderate trek. So what is proved is some of Prashant, who initiated the trek, Yogesh, who had an analytical way of telling that these are the calculation things I do before I go for a trek, I, who actually helped them, support them with all the different kinds of trek, and Sandeep was a direct kind of communicator in this particular conversation. There's only one thing that is evident. We may all have different kind of communication. It's like a mesh. So we all have to navigate this mesh by adjusting ourselves to it. As John Paul rightly says, communication works for those who work at it. And I would like to take this quote to a level where effective and successful communication works for those who work at their communication style. Back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vijay, for that insightful speech on communication. The next speaker, it's a special speech. So before I call upon the speaker on the stage, I request the invited DTM Vijay Anand to read out the objectives.
The purpose of this speech is for member to present a speech and receive feedback from the evaluator. Time of please note, it's 5 to 7 minutes. Back to you.
Thank you, DTM Vijay. The next speaker is a professional speaker and a life coach, a third generation entrepreneur. He started his TM journey, Toastmaster journey from 2019. He is a The next speech is also a special speech. This speech is going to be evaluated by Toastmaster Alan Rana. So I'm just reciting the speech objectives. The speech will be evaluated by 4 parameters. One is the speech development, speech organization, audience response, body language, and vocal variation. The next speaker, according to himself, he says, I'm an outstanding speaker. What he means is, most of the time we stand outside the Toastmaster meeting. He is regularly irregular. coming to the Toastmaster meetings. Recently, he was at the coronation curtain raising. I was not at the premises, but what I heard is he was one of the MCs, and if I borrow Ranbir Kapoor's words, he killed it. So MC by profession, the outstanding Toastmaster. Please help me welcome Toastmaster Ankit. Welcome back, distinguished Toastmasters, future distinguished Toastmasters and distinguished guests. Before I start, I have a trivia again regarding Toastmasters. The Toastmaster International was open to men from 1924 onwards. Which was the year TMI opened for women?
1965. 73.
The question is, in which year the Toastmaster International membership was open to women?
72.
73.
73.
Yes, it's 1973. Round of applause for Aditya. I ask one more question. Who was the first women international president?
Helen Blanchard.
Yes, distinguished Toastmaster Helen Blanchard. Round of applause for distinguished Toastmaster Rajdeep. We'll move to the next interesting session, which is called Table Topics. Everyone ready?
Yes.
I can't hear.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes. So take us forward. We have a special person here. His name is VVK. In his name there is V. Same way his voice is so loud. Like he has got a voice which I really envy. A young man, a dreamer, who is dreaming of to become one day to join the Air Force. May his dream come true. Let me invite with a thunderous round of applause Toastmaster Vishal Vasant Kumar.
Good evening, Toastmasters and dear guests.
Good evening.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, for such a wonderful introduction. I need one little help. If you can just tell that to my crush, it will be a little helpful. Okay, moving on. So this segment is to help people think and speak proficiently on their feet. No one knows what the topic is or what they are going to face, but they need to come and speak here for 1 to 2 minutes. Now the theme of today is genius is 99% perspiration. Perspiration is sweat, which is something that sets in as soon as I come onto the stage, so I'll just get out and let you guys sweat for a while. First, I'd like to call Toastmaster Kalapan. Your topic is, would you like to be famous, and in what sense?
Do I like to be famous? Like what, by look or what? I don't know, obviously I don't look that much good, but so that I won't famous by my look. I want to famous by giving back to the society, because my mother used to tell like we should start on my NGO after my retirement so that I can help others. My mother want to like marry 10 or 15 women by giving gold. Like I want to do that for my mother. Like I don't want to be like advertise myself like I did it, but I want to be famous in my surroundings. My mother want me to look famous. Like there are many relatives who giggle me in the back. I can't do. I'm capable of nothing. Like I want to famous in my surroundings. I want to achieve that one. That's all. Thank you.
That was great. Give it up for the future philanthropist. The next topic is, what would a perfect day constitute for you? Now, I'd like to call upon Area Director Prashant.
Could you repeat the topic?
What would a perfect day constitute for you?
What's a perfect day? Everyone has this thought, right? Everyone says beautiful blue skies, crystal clear sunlight, light cool breeze. I'm in a green meadow, I'm in a great background of water, looks like a Windows wallpaper. And I'm with my best friend, my wife, my parents, right? This is what we, I think, hope. This is what we want. What would be an ideal day? An ideal day for me would be a day with a smile. Something I've realized over the last few months, with a lot of work, pressure, a lot of events to be conducted, I wake up with my day with stress in my mind. So I'm already starting my day on a back foot. So it takes some time for me to move away from a groggy mood to be in a normal mood. And by end of the day is where I'm actually happy, like today I'm here right now. It's the end of the day. So what would be your ideal? Do you want to start your day with a smile or a frown? For me it is a smile. There is something I'm actually struggling with. You got to think what works for you. Are you waking up with a baggage? Are you waking up with the happiness which you carried from last night, last day, last week? Or are all you thinking about a week from now, a month from now, or a year from now? Nothing is wrong. But what is wrong is how do you want to start the day? Thank you very much.
That was perfect. Simple, but perfect. Next, I'd like to call upon Toastmaster Rajan. One thing that you are grateful for.
What is one thing I'm grateful for? Well, I feel I'm quite grateful for the kind of happiness and inclusiveness I have within my family and also with my friends and also at my workplace. Because I always felt that to be a great person, you have to give back. I do give back at my home, I do give back at my work, I do give back whenever I go around with my friends and also in Toastmasters. There's a lot of ways. I remember when I was traveling somewhere and I was in a bus stand, and one of my friends, he had approached me saying, I did not get a job. It's been like 2 years and I've been working in a call center. And that's when I did tell him, I have one of my friends who's doing some kind of coaching, why don't you join? And he joined, and I met him after like nearly 10 years. And he says, I'm quite happy here in Successful, and I've landed a job in US, and that makes me like very happy. So that's how getting job for people and giving a lot of happiness, playing around with my daughter, and also like getting along with my dad and my mom. Like every Friday we go out for like some snacks, and even on the weekend we go out for lunch. So these are the things I'm quite grateful of.
You are grateful for giving back. That is fresh to hear. Next, I'd like to call upon Toastmaster Ratan for the topic. Tomorrow you wake up and gain one thing. What would it be? The topic is tomorrow you wake up and gain one ability or something. What would it be?
One thing that I'd like to wake up tomorrow to is to be present, because as they say that today, I don't remember the words exactly. Today is special, that's the reason it's whatever. But Yeah, being present, presence of mind is something that, as they say, it takes care of any situation better. So, presence of mind means not getting swayed by something not going your way. Presence of mind means not getting swayed by something going your way. Very often we either get euphoric about something or we get despondent about something. In between the two is what you can do at this very moment, and that is what you do is what will take you forward. It is easier said than done, because every moment we have something tugging at our attention, because this is the era of distraction, as they say. So every moment we are bound to get distracted with something or the other, and that is bound to take us away from the present. So that is one elusive gift that I would look for, being present every single moment and making, not only counting the days, but making each day count.
The next topic is, if you become the president of the world tomorrow, what is the first thing that you will do? For this, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Suhas.
Usually there is no such thing as becoming the president of the world, but just for fun, I would like to say what am I going to do if I become the president of the world. If I become the president of the world, I would focus more on progress and development, because without progress, nothing is possible, and there's no technology in rural areas, so I plan on implementing technologies in those areas. Lot of poor children. There are a lot of poor children, and I like to give them proper education, and give free food for poor people, and there's no proper healthcare system. So
after hearing that, I would want you to be the president of the world. The next topic is, what is the one thing that you have always wanted to do but never got around to doing? For this topic, I'd like to invite Dr. Rajdeep Manwani sir.
There was this person called Ken Barrington, and he's a very rich person. He came up from the slums and he became a very rich person. And they asked him, what's your definition for success and what would you like to do? So he said, in my first stage of my life, I always wanted to make more wealth. So I bought a house, I bought 2 cars, but I wasn't very happy. So I went to the second stage, which was even more wealth. So I bought 5 houses, 6 cars, but even that didn't give me happiness. The third stage was different wealth. I said, I will try and get as many clubs. I bought a basketball team. I went for these Premier League games and I thought of owning teams, but even that didn't give me happiness. Then there was one stage where I was called by a friend who was going to Serbia, where there were a lot of these mine explosions and children had lost their legs, and to donate wheelchairs. So I took a flight and went there. When I went there and I was distributing a wheelchair, one of the child who had lost his legs caught my leg and didn't let me go. I said, what happened? Why are you not letting me go? He told me, sir, I want to see your face a little more close. I said, why? He said, "Sir, I'm thanking you now, but I want to thank you again when we meet in heaven." And he said that gave me real satisfaction. So the one thing which I would like to do is accumulate that inner wealth. Somewhere I feel that I want to touch 1 crore people in this world through my speeches, through my talks. But I think I would love to make a difference to as many people as possible, which I think I'm not doing at present. Thank you so much.
That was great. As usual, we need to learn to develop inner wealth, is the message to take away. The next topic is, what do you value the most in friendship? And for this, I'd like to call upon Toastmaster Puneet Surana.
For a guy who has like 10,000 friends, this is a hard question. I think with friendships, if I had to value one thing above all, would be that I can just chill, sit back, rest, and be Puneet Surana. Not the podcaster guy that you see, or the fancy entrepreneur that you see on other platforms, or this really cool dude that chills with you here, but this really introverted, quiet, peaceful guy sitting behind and just chilling. I mean, that's what I get to do. And I think there are only few places I can do that, like a bowling pool. I don't know how to swim, but I accompany my friend. And I did that a good part of my childhood. I would go to the deep end and I would just chill at the corner. He would do his strokes and he would come back to the deep end. He would chat for a minute and then go back and take another lap. I mean, that's the beauty of friendships. There's no facades, there is no double thinking of, hey, is this right, is this coming across correctly? There is just a sense of free-flowingness that is there, that you can just be yourself and know that it's fine, it's okay. So I value that a lot in friendships. And I can't do that. It looks to most of you that I can do that with you. However, the ones who are the closest and most intimate to me know and recognize when I'm actually in that mode of just laid back, chilled out, cool Puneet, who cracks very lame jokes and is very inappropriate and very loose in his talk. But it's still fun to be around, it's fun to have around. So that's what I value. I hope you find such friends too.
That's great. I think I've never had anyone tell me in a professional sense to take a chill pill. And the next topic is, what is your most treasured memory? And for this, I'd like to call upon Vivek Mishra.
So these questions like what is your treasured memory, who is your best relative, who you love most, these are the kind of questions that we think that the answers to those questions should be just in the front of my tongue. But surprisingly, I am not feeling ashamed that when he asked me this question, my mind went blank. My mind just did not go blank because I am here in front of this audience. My mind went blank because I did not know the answer to this question. So what is the table topic?
So the table topic is, what is your most treasured memory?
Okay. So I'll force my mind to come up with the answer that what is my treasured memory. So I would say my treasured memory is the day when I spent with, when I was very young. So my father took us to a trip and I spent with my brother, my mother, and my mother was cooking food. So that day just comes to me all the time, and now I try to remember that why that day was the best day of my life. And today I remember that, as many of the previous Toastmasters are saying, that day I felt like Zen. That day there was no agenda for the next day. That day there was no restriction that I should be studying for something. So I was just living in the moment. So that is why that day was the best day of my life. And as this Beatles, one of the members said that life happens when you are busy doing other things. So that way I believe that I have been caught in so many things in the life that I have to do this, I have a plan that after half an hour I should be doing that. Next day, next week, next month, all the time my agenda is full. So I think that can I sneak out some little time in my life when I can be that the same person who was there when my father went to the picnic and live that in the entirety, so that I can sneak away some of the things from my life and just which will be just mine, and I can just remember. So when I look back, there will be memories. So the question is why my best memory is so far away. So I want to create memories which are almost every day.
That was great. Moral of the story, take some time out for yourself. The next topic is, you just won the lottery. What do you do next? I'd like to call upon Toastmaster Sunil Govind.
Definitely that day is not today, because otherwise I wouldn't be standing here. The tabletop master, fellow Toastmasters, and the guest over there. Before I answer that question, I first need to figure out what is the lottery. Is getting into Bangalore Toastmasters Club a lottery? And being able to give this speech here a lottery? So I never thought I would be called. Or getting into some major institution like the IITs or IIMs a lottery? Or getting married a lottery? Everything and anything is measured by what happens subsequently. That includes marriage, includes the table topic. So, a lottery need not always be the best thing. And it need not be the really bad thing also. It's like one of the acharyas that I know very intimately said, this happened to me, Guruji. Could be good, it could be bad. And this also happened to me, I'm very happy. Could be good, could be bad. That's the same thing for a lottery. So I don't think I'm going to be really excited about getting a lottery, and I don't think I'll do anything different. I would still go to my Toastmasters meeting. I would still go to my office. I would still go for my morning run, my 10K run. I would still do everything. And I would still enjoy my life as it is. Because I think it could be good, it could be bad.
That was a great message. Every second of your life is a lottery. The next topic is, if you had the chance to meet any celebrity, dead, alive, or anywhere in the past or in the future, who would it be? This topic I'd like to give to a guest, Akshat.
So if I get a chance to meet a celebrity, I would like to meet with MS Dhoni, because I think the struggle he went through, and the journey he went through makes him a MS Dhoni, not the position he had in Indian cricket team, because he struggled so much, and he also worked on a railway station as a TT. So I want to learn many things from him, because I'm very young, I think. I'm very young to learn many things from him, and I would also implement that in my life too.
That was great, and nice touch. You need to learn to grow. That was great. The next topic is, so give me a second. back to reality again. The next topic is, if you could change one thing about your childhood, what would it be? For this, I'd like to invite Toastmaster Girish on the stage.
Okay, one thing that I would like to change in my childhood. So there was one time where it was actually I had an exam, and this was in the afternoon, and my mom told me to study, and I could see that my friends were playing around. So I said, okay, why not sneak peek, take a chance, go out and play with them. So I took a chance. I saw my mom was not there, so let me go and come back. Got the idea. I went there. I was playing around, and I did not realize that I had already spent a good amount of time, and I hardly left some time to go to the exam. So that day, literally, I was not even aware that how much time I had. And my mom came running to me looking for me. Where is this guy? He did not go to the exam, things like that. And then she passed me like hell. So if you really ask me, do I want to change that day? No, I don't want. The reason being, that day is really a good learning day for me. That even today, my relatives or my wife keeps saying that if you would have not got that day, that thing, probably I would have not been here today. So that's all.
That's great. You don't need to change any moment in your life because everything works out in the end. Next topic is. I'm sorry, this is happening again. I'd like to call upon the stage guest Asta. The topic is, your friend copied off of you, they passed but you failed. What do you do?
I think the first thing I would want to understand from that person is what is it that they copied, because I may have my own perception of how I do things. However, what they copied would actually help me understand what is it that they understand of me. So I think that aspect will help me understand myself a little better. And self-awareness is something that I'm really interested in working upon, and getting closer to myself is a gift which I think a lot of people have. I mean, this is a journey that I would want to embark upon in general in life. And I think really being able to understand what that friend has been able to see in my life will be another chance for me to understand myself better. That is one. Second, I would also want to understand from them what is it that they did additionally. So for example, did they trust themselves more? Did they have more confidence in their abilities? Did they have a better social network? Were they more present in their life? What is it that actually helped them get closer to success? Is something that I would want to really understand and not copy, but incorporate in my own working and in my own life. So this is something that I would want to think about when I think about this. Another thing I could have done was to really get jealous, get down, get bogged down, etc. This is something that I've worked on in my life throughout these years, because I think that's the first and the most impulsive reaction for all of us to do. However, this is something that I just, like I said, I have worked upon, and I don't do that anymore. My thought process has become more developmental and more growth oriented in the past, and I think this perspective has helped me give this answer that I just gave.
That was a great mini speech. I don't know how we went from your friend passing to a self-developmental journey. That was a great journey to go on. The next topic is, if you could time travel, where would you go? For this, I'd like to call upon the guest, Sharon.
Hello. If I could time travel, I would go in the
me my exam results because I've been waiting for it to, for too long for it to come, and I'm scared. And I think if it was just like a one-day thing and it could get over fast, like the anxiety would cool down. And yeah, that would be it. Thank you.
That was great. You have the power of God, but you want to go and check your marks. That's a nice lesson. That brings us to the end of this session, and thank you for having me as your tabletop instructor.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vishal, for the dynamic session. How many of you agree that both sun and rain is required for a flower or a plant to flourish? Yes. There is a quote by Goethe. He said, if you treat a man the way he is, he will remain the way he is. If you treat that man the way he could be or he ought to be, he becomes what he ought to be. The next session is exactly that. In Toastmasters, we actually evaluate to motivate the speakers so that those speakers who have come here and spoken is encouraged to speak again and again. To take this session forward, we have an interesting personality, a blogger. He continuously blogs about his traveling. If he is not there in the Toastmaster meeting, rest assured he is traveling. If you want to learn one skill, that's how to convince people, this is that person. You can go to him and learn about how to convince people. What strikes to me about this person is whenever he comes to the stage, whether it could be a table topic, a speech, or an evaluation, he makes it count. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome with a thunderous round of applause, Toastmaster Alok Simha.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Good evening. Toastmaster Sheep, thanks a lot for the introduction. I really hope I can make it count today as well. Guys, every 5 years you get this chance to bask in glory, be the evaluator of your particular area, or your state, or your country. It is that time again in the next week when you get a chance to vote and bask in that glory. Now, thankfully, in Toastmasters, you get to do that twice a year. Every year or every 6 months there is an election, you get to cast your vote and select the committee. And Toastmasters does it one better. You get to bask in the glory of being a general evaluator every once in a time, especially in a club like Bangalore Toastmasters. So today I believe it's my chance to do that. Just take all your attention for a little bit and offer my humble suggestions as we go on and improve meeting after meeting. Now, what do I have to say about this particular meeting? The meeting started on time. What was most intriguing to me first up was when I came here, Toastmaster Priyanka was there. I don't think she's there anymore. She left already. She was doing the board, writing all the names of the road takers in the agenda. I asked her, Priyanka, why are you doing this? And then she gave me the simplest of answers and the most obvious of answers. She said, because it had to be done. And that is the kind of responsibility people here take at Bangalore Toastmasters, which is what makes me feel great and proud every time we come here and be a part of the meeting. So even though she's not there here right now, a round of applause to Toastmaster Priyanka. Up next we had Toastmaster Chirant, who started off this particular meeting. I really have to tell you, this guy has transformed as far as being a Sergeant at Arms is concerned, and he's been taking this role for about 4 months now. A little bit of insider information, if I can say. Last week in the division contest, he was also the timer, associate timer, and he, along with Toastmaster Joseph again is not there. But these guys took the auxiliary role to such a level that the division director spoke about them for more than 5 minutes, telling them how good they were at the role. So, Toastmaster Chiran, that's a little bit of an aside, but you did an amazing role today as well. A great start, great energy. And yes, somewhere I felt maybe you were a little nervous today when it came to the part about introducing the presiding officer. I'm not sure why that was, it was a little unlike you. Another suggestion, you already have sufficient energy when you come on stage. I really didn't know why you had to use the mic because it probably handicapped your gestures a little bit. I think that was a recurring pattern today in with most of the role takers. I mean, apart from the speakers who use the call mic, we resorted to taking our, taking a mic, which could have been avoided. But apart from that, well done. Keep improving. Love to see you more on stage in different roles. Congratulations, Toastmaster. Up next, we had Toastmaster Shashank as the presiding officer. He started off with a really warm gesture of asking all the guests to introduce themselves. Well done, Toastmaster Shashank. And connecting Edison's story. The story was well narrated, but what I liked most was he connected that to our everyday lives on how we could improve and gave us a call to action. So a lot of times we narrate a story, but how does it relate to us? That was really well done. And again, a little bit of what do I say? Is it a harbinger of things to come? Last time I was GE, the presiding officer was Toastmaster Vaidyanathan and went on to become president. I won't say more. Moving on, we had Toastmaster Sheet, who is the Sutradhar, the person who weaves this meeting together. He was our Toastmaster of the day. Now, you had 3 great stories. Cricket always hooks me, and nothing like Tendulkar and Shane want to have our attention, though it's been more than 10 years since they have been matched up together. And then we had 3 Idiots, the Chinese Bamboo, all examples that had us thinking about how genius is a lot of perspiration, a lot of hard work. Great examples, you had our attention. But I also felt in the latter part, when you started talking about Beethoven and the other people that you had seen, I can't even remember the other people because there were too many names. So that is where I felt maybe you could have restricted to 3 examples and then give us a call to action about the theme. So that could have been done better. Again, the research was excellent, but I felt it was a little too much. And you had your characteristics, presence on stage, you were easy, comfortable, making eye contact. So all of that as Toastmaster of the day was extremely well done. Now, one thing that all of us noticed when you introduce the back team, just be a little mindful of the adjectives you use. Let's keep it objective. You called Shema beautiful, but I immediately got offended. There was a little bit of a mock contest going on stage, so let's avoid that and keep our adjectives in check. The transitions again when you came on stage, I felt could get slightly better in between speakers. You could have probably a line or two talking about each of the speech. Now, and another thing that I have is that, again, you had the mic on one hand, you had the chips on the other hand, it was handicapping you a little bit. Try and maximize the use of gestures and the movement on stage. So that is my feedback. Following the chronology, we had the prepared speakers. To evaluate the first speech, we have Toastmaster Shokat.
Am I audible? All good? Yes.
Yes.
That's great because everything is about communication and that's what our speaker told us about. Toastmaster Vijay, you are very clearly a proficient, powerful and persuasive speaker. And that came out when you shared all the examples. Let me evaluate you on 3 points. The audio, the visual, and the kinesthetic. The audio is how did we hear it? How was it sounding to us? It was great because you had a great rate of speech. Very clear. Am I right? Everyone could hear him?
Yes.
Everyone understood him?
Yes.
Perfect. And you could see that that was most important. When you had voice modulation, when you spoke about a friend and you lowered the tone of your voice, the depth of your voice, that helped. So, audio, tick. Visual. How did we see him? I believe he owned the stage. Do you agree? Yes, because you can see how well dressed he is, how personable he is, looking at us with eye contact, and his facial expressions changed appropriately. So visual, tick. And finally, kinesthetic, which is the feeling. How did you feel about it? He came with his personal stories in that. And he talked about things which are absolutely relevant to us, which we could relate to when he talked about the map going from one place to another. So yes, kinesthetic, tick. And to add all that, a huge amount of research about people and stories and the evaluation. Fantastic. No notes. Well done. Let's give him a round of applause for that. In my mind, what I would have done if I wanted to do a little different is I would have first changed I would have added humor and I would have added a little curiosity. And I would have done that by changing the name of the title to say, do you understand? And I would have started by saying something, do you understand? Toastmaster of the day, my friends. This is the problem I had when I started to speak about something. And then gone about the problems of communication of different styles. And at the end, I would have closed by saying, friends, do you understand what I'm saying? And that was about the humor and the curiosity all in one. I would have also suggested that you would have built a lot more of the character of your 4 friends that you have spoken about. Because what happened is that you did share the different styles of communication, but if you had built up that character of each person, it would have hit us, it would have impressed us even more exactly what we were saying. All in all, I think, woo, what a beautiful speech. A person who owns the stage, who is so impressionable. Fantastic. You tick so many boxes. I would have just liked you to make it a little more flavorful, a little more humorous, and a little more of curiosity. Surely, at the end, I know your way of communication. It is so powerful, I want to hear it again and back.
Thank you for the encouragement and the suggestions, Toastmaster Shogger. Congratulations to Toastmaster Vijay. A round of applause to the speaker and the other. Moving on, we had the second special speech being evaluated by DTM Vijayan.
We speak to persuade, we speak to inform, we speak to entertain. But if one would ask me, the most uplifting speeches are one which are inspirational. And Toastmaster Rahul Jain, that's what we attempted today. Mr. G, fellow Toastmaster guests, this project calls for that it has to be well organized. Yes, Toastmaster project was well organized. 3 parts, first about your mother, and the silence about your father in the ICU and how you changed. I put it in that 3 buckets. Well done. Of course, you started and ended the question. Very good technique. Second, the speaker's style was very conversational. As you're talking to us over a cup of tea, good job done again. The third bit, body language. Very comfortable, smooth, natural flowing, and use the stage well. Now, I'm focusing more on the areas to focus and improve. Being the kind of speaker that you are, seasoned accomplished speaker. First, you did have voice modulation, but the areas where you could drop your voice with the pain points concerned, just sample this. You asked us, how many making plans for Mom's Day, for Mother's Day? I'm not. If I were in your place. How many making plans for Mother's Day? I'm not. It tells us the reason that why you're not doing it. It gets us and hooked onto your speech. The second area is where you could pause. The way you said, the special day is coming up, Mother's Day. to make Mother's Day sound special. A very special day is coming up. Mother's Day. The pause. I'll give you examples where you could use in future. And when we will emphasize, you stretch the word. We used it was Rahul, just not today. Rest of the year, make it special. If I were in your place. Rahul, just not today. Rest of the year, make it special. Emphasize that the mother wants to make every day special. Second suggestion, inspirational talks require where you breathe fire into your audience. You did that, Rahul, but you could perhaps step on the gas a little bit. You told us one incident, Mother's Day, which is rather a Western concept. Come down to India. Friends, it's just not Mother's Day. It could be a birthday, your spouse's anniversary, someone cracked a board exam, someone bought a job, you bought a new house. These are special days. Hold on, friends. Not only this. Think about it. When you come home to your spouse, can you just listen to her without being judgmental? Your kid, you want to just play the game even though you don't like it. Your sibling, instead of fighting with your sibling, can you be friendly? And with your colleague, could you just exercise empathy? What I'm suggesting, friends, make every ordinary day special. Remember, it's about them, it's not you. On those lines, breathe fire into the audience, inspirational talk. Third small suggestion, transitions. The 3 points to talk, connect the dots. Well, my mother asked me to make every day special. But what made me special was my father's incident in ICU. And the second class, after the ICU incident, I made those changes. Well, these minor suggestions, Rahul, I'm sure will go small. They say every drop of water was making a mighty ocean. Having said that, Rahul, I love the way you told us, the way you changed. And you made this day very special, coming all the way from Hyderabad to inspire us to make every ordinary day special. We wish to see the special person, Rahul, more than enough, back to the table.
I always feel the best part about medium Vijayanand's evaluation is that he not only tells you what to do it, but he also tells you how to do it. And Rahul, thanks a lot for coming here and delivering this speech. The moment I understood that this was a contest speech, I just closed my book and I said, check the evaluation, let me just listen, let me just watch the performance. And it was definitely worth it. Thanks a lot for coming here. Moving on, we have the next speaker, Toastmaster Ankit, our very own Ankit, being evaluated by Toastmaster Alan.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, guests, and Toastmaster Ankit in particular. Toastmaster Ankit, today with your speech, you proved that you are an exemplary public speaker who has actually excelled in using the spoken word, all while being aided with innovative use of props such as the currency, the ink and water, and of course the deft use of humor. All that together to deliver a powerful message of irreplaceable damage. You masterfully used eye contact to convey emotions and engage the audience. You fully allowed physical gestures to integrate into the content that you were presenting. You also anticipated audience needs by splendid use of the props as and when needed to break the monotony. Every movement on stage was purposeful and enhanced your speech. Toastmaster Ankit, this speech is a shining example of effective use of body language. Having said that, in my humble opinion, here are some few pointers that can help polish the speech a wee better so that it can shine brighter. You could have used voice modulation more effectively, especially when it came to dialogues. For example, if you were talking to your boss and suddenly you change the voice of your boss to say, Ankit, the golden rule is, it suddenly adds two characters instead of seeming like it's the same person, and your speech, you had 2-3 dialogues between you and your boss, it would have definitely exemplified the speech. Also during the speech, there were some technical errors which are not in your control, but that left you a bit shaken. And the josh that you had was a bit lost, which you regained in the end. So my advice to you is that irrespective of outside factors, don't worry about being heard or not, because they are not effectively in your control. Ankit, there is no taking away from the fact that you are a shining star of this club, and may you continue to shine like the glowing speech that you gave today. Best of luck. Back to the GD.
I particularly feel lucky that I am being G on this particular day. We had 3 performances, I would say. There is, I always believe there is a difference between a speech and a performance, and what we saw today were 3 performances and 3 masterclass evaluations. So congratulations to all the speakers and the evaluators. Well done. Moving on, we had our table topics master Vishal. I always like his energy, the smile, the aura that he comes with on stage. And today I got to see his wit as well, with all his funny repartees and the introduction. Toastmaster Vishal, very well done. Yeah, nice, easy conversational topics, which also led us to think a little bit. So it was all well done, and the transitions were great as well. Just a couple of things that I noticed. You started off by calling the speaker and then introducing the topic. Midway, you switched to the topic and then the speaker. I think the second way would have been the preferred way. Just start off with the topic and then introduce the speaker. There was also a moment when Toastmaster Rathan, you were almost standing with your back to the audience. It happened for about 5 seconds. It looked rather odd and almost confrontational with Toastmaster Vishal. Let's just avoid that. Table topics master going blank. I think that can be avoided as well, but I'm sure these things happen along the way, Vishal. Congratulations on the job well done. With that, we move on to the tag team. As the timer for the day was already flashed a red card twice to me, we have Toastmaster Aditya.
Good evening, dear Toastmasters and guests once again. I guess the line from Plato literally worked on all of you because everybody was proficient with how they use their time. And yeah, that's a big round of applause for almost everyone who came on stage today. For the matter of the report, the speaker timing for Toastmaster Vijay was 7 minutes 19 seconds. For Toastmaster Rahul, it was 7 minutes 9 seconds. And for Toastmaster Ankit, 6 minutes 49 seconds. In terms of the table topics, I only like to highlight the people who used less time on stage because everybody else took more than a minute. So this goes towards guest Akshat and guest Sharon. You would have used some more time on the stage. Thank you.
As the mark after, we have Toastmaster Sharma.
As a hard counter, actually I didn't have anything much to do today because everyone did it so wonderfully. So hardly I had anything to comment on. But I can just evaluate since I have given opportunity to come and speak over here, better I use some time of this. So I can divide like I'm sitting in a restaurant and ordering a full 3-course meal. Okay. So the starters which came to the stage, those were the first Sergeant at Arms President and T.M. Modi. I put them in the starters bracket. So hardly I could hear any clutch words or anything from them. It was well done. and I was expecting for a main course. Okay, that was our speakers. So it was so good. I didn't have to, tell anything about it. There were hardly any catchwords on that. It was like a very nice, full course. I enjoyed that. And I was thinking, what would be the next part, the dessert? That is our evaluatives and the table topics. So even in table topics, like the different kind of desserts which I saw over here, everyone came, gave the speech. So it was so well. At least there I could see a little bit of, it could have been still more. We could have enjoyed that much better. There were few, like 1, 2, 3, 4 speakers and a bit of crutchwords used in table topics. Otherwise, it was an excellent session, I can say. So here I end this. So at meeting number 1375, usage of were very rare, and our enthralling speakers took us to the next level, and today's meeting was a flawless without any imperfections. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shilpa, for the elaborate report. We now have Toastmaster Varsha as the debating member.
Here I am with the beauty kit. So first, thought of removing all the toxins. To name a few, when he was young could have been as a kid, 2 times could have been twice, 25,000 more could have been more than 25,000 or 25,000 plus. With that note could have been on that note. Met him after nearly could have been nearly after. Free flowingness could have been free flow of thoughts or gestures. Now coming to the addition of a mask, which makes it, which enhances your beauty in the language. Lifeline of a meeting, communication works for those who work on it. 3rd gen entrepreneur, simple lessons are taught in the hardest way. And then not counting days but making each day count were some of the good usages. Now when we come to the final touch-up, there were a few who added to the enhancement of their vocabulary, including me. Aditya, Sheeb and I used the word of the day. For that, back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Varsha. It's amazing to see the tag team bring in a lot of creativity to an auxiliary role, and that's what again adds to the flavor of the meeting, if I could say that. Before I conclude, just another 30 seconds. I was at the division meeting last week as an audience, and trust me, it was an excellent experience. BTMC has got a lot of amazing speakers. Varsha stood second in the division IIC contest as well. But then I really believe all of us can learn a lot by being there and listening to some of the other speeches from members of other clubs. I felt, it was probably the second time that I attended a division contest, but I personally went back feeling enriched and entertained as well. So to the members here, the new members here, if you really get a chance to be part of area contest and division contest, do take that opportunity. I'm sure it's going to be an experience that you're really going to enjoy and learn from. With that, it's back to the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster.
Thank you, General Evaluator Toastmaster Alok. Give a round of applause for Toastmaster Alok. Announcement. How many of you have come to the meeting in 4-wheelers? And 2-wheelers? Thank you. Something is coming to our city on this month, 27th and 28th. What is that? Coronation. To talk about coronation, we have a special person here. The past Division H Governor, the past Area Governor, and the current President of BG Toastmasters. Please help me welcome with a thunderous round of applause, Toastmaster Sunil Govind.
actually prepared to say that come to coronation and see really good speakers. And here I am saying there are really some really good speakers here. A round of applause to all of you guys here. I've been back to Bangalore Toastmasters after like maybe 6 years. Last time I stood here I was a test speaker for, I think, for your club or area contest, I don't remember. And I had some really good evaluations to look at. And it was indeed a privilege being here. Okay, having said that, I have a job to do. I am the co-chair for Coronation to District Conference. So I will take a segue from our general evaluator for today. The division conference or the division meet in most of the divisions there have been excellent speakers. But I think Coronation is 10x of that. The district conference is happening on the 27th and the 28th of May, in Hilton, Manyata. And we've got our main keynote speaker is Manoj Vasudevan. So for those who don't know who Manoj Vasudevan is, he is the world champion of public speaking. Okay? And obviously he happens to be an Indian, settled in Singapore. He's from Singapore Toastmasters Club. And we have the privilege of having him here on the 28th. He will give the keynote as well as he will give a one-on-one. It will be a tea coffee session, whatever it is. But just to share with you, in 2019 we had the same coronation happening in Taj, Yeshwantpur. I had the privilege to be there. And we had Aaron Beverly there. Who is Aaron Beverly? Again, he was the world champion of public speaking. In 2019, he was number 3, and subsequently he went on to become the world champion also in 19. So my request to all of you is that please do register for the conference. It is a paid conference. It's a 2-day paid conference. And you will have the privilege of not only having these speakers, you're also having some industry leadership team also coming in. I am today at present not at liberty to tell you the other speakers, but definitely in the subsequent days that will happen. You will get to know of it. You also have your own champion speaking over there. That is, the Division B champion will be there contesting against the rest of the champions there. And that will also be a privilege for you to have a look at them. The learning experience, I will tell you, is huge. Make use of this opportunity because it will only happen 365 days afterwards. Okay, so I will share the links with your president or your vice president education, and my sincere request is that please be part of this. We already have 200 registrations. 200 people are already there. I'm not going to say it's going to be FOMO if you miss it. The FOMO is only for your very intimate moments, not for this. But if you feel that you are in the learning journey, if you feel you need to grow and learn and evolve, be part of Coronation. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sunil Govind. The voting links are open and the password is SKILL, all in small letters, SKILL. There's a beautiful tagline of US Navy SEALs. It says, the more you sweat at your training room, the less you bleed at the battleground. Such a wonderful quote defining the power of perspiration. The Oscar-winning actor Michael Caine was once asked about his performance. He said an interesting thing. He said, hard work is the preparation and the practice, and the performance is the relaxation. So next time when you find someone speaking proficiently on the stage or a stand-up comic delivering his gig with naturality, rest assured is he or she might have really practiced it very well. With that note, I am signing off, and to take this meeting forward, I invite our presiding officer, Toastmaster Shashank.
Wow, what a meeting this was. Wonderful speeches, wonderful evaluations, brilliant table topic attempts, and wonderful job by all the role takers. Can we have a round of applause to all the role takers? While you take seconds to vote, I request our our area director Prashant to just have a few words about this meeting, not more than 60 seconds.
I think the last time I was here, it was election day. So I didn't actually get a chance to see and feel the entirety of the A to Z of PTMC Toastmasters meeting. Believe me, as an area director, I should be making more effort to be here. So I'm acknowledging that I haven't done that, which is probably a feedback for me. But what I realize is that, especially to some of the guests, right? In a community club, the advantage is you stand here and you break the barrier of the stage fright. The flip side of that is if you work in a corporate company, you actually hide behind Zoom or Teams or whatever online platform it is, and it's very easy. Nothing comes out naturally. I'll be the first person to say. So if you want to break that barrier, and that's exactly what I'm trying, and I'm not exaggerating. I recently changed my houses. I'm actually in search of a community club closer to my home. Though I'm already a part of a club, I want to be a part where I actually stand on the stage. And today I feel that, I think our Toastmaster of the day said, or I think, sorry, our general evaluator said, these are not speeches, these are performances. There is no better word for that. I wish I'll come back more, not just as a representative of the district, as a Toastmaster. I want to be here, engage and interact. Thank you very much, Shashank and team, for having me here.
We have our Toastmaster from Hyderabad Toastmasters Club. Rahul Jain wants to share a few words.
Thank you. Two announcements that I wanted to make. If at all, at any point in time you travel to Hyderabad, I'm the president of Hyderabad Toastmasters Club. Do visit our club. We meet on second and fourth Sunday of every month. Hyderabad Toastmasters is one of the first clubs, like Bangalore Toastmasters Club here in Bangalore or in India. Hyderabad Toastmasters is among the first clubs to open in Telangana state, and it's one of the oldest clubs there. So we have a lot of seasoned Toastmasters as a part of the club. Second, like we had the announcement for coronation, we have District 1 to 6, Jubilees 2023 happening on 3rd and 4th of June. So if you're around or if you're excited about Toastmasters meetings, please do make time to come to Hyderabad and attend that. The registrations and the early bird offer are still on for that meeting. Like the lineup of the speakers that we have, one of the speakers that we have, I would like to mention over here, was the ACP who has handled very high profile cases and he's gracing a rotation as a keynote speaker is VV Lakshmi Narayan. He's one of the famous ACPs who has dealt with cases, very high profile cases, and he's one of the most successful ones that I could recollect. So he's there as a keynote speaker and we have other speakers as well. So if you want any details about that event and if you're traveling around, because I know personally, because before I joined Toastmasters as a Toastmaster, I traveled to Pune from Hyderabad just to attend the District 98 conference which happened in Pune. I'm sorry that we don't have the Dr. Rajdeep over here right now. He was one of the speakers and I was inspired by his speech there, and that is what made me join Toastmasters. It's not Toastmasters, this is, the conferences are a wonderful opportunity at a fraction of a cost of what you learn a lot more. At a fraction of a cost, you get that in a 2-day experience by attending that. So attend the 27th, 28th over here. Travel to Hyderabad, be our host, and join us on 3rd and 4th of June. Over here.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Rahul. We have the results. Awards to be given away. The best auxiliary role taker award, the tag team award, goes to Toastmaster Varsha. The best role taker award goes to our GE Toastmaster Alok Singh. Table topic speaker award goes to VTM Rajdeep Hanwani. Best evaluator award goes to VTM Vijayan. The best speaker award, as G mentioned, we had 3 performances today, and I was told that it was a very tough fight, but eventually we had to select one, the person who got the highest votes. We have the best speaker, Toastmaster Ankit Kumar. So thank you all for taking your time of your fun Friday and attending this fun event at our club. Looking forward to meet you again next week. I adjourn meeting number 137.